Good morning. I hope you take a second and bear with me. There's something on my mind that I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll tell you about it here. I'm wearing this shirt on purpose because there's something I want to make a visual to help make it easier for people to understand. And it's about getting a double mastectomy. A lot of women in our support group are talking about, should I only remove my affected breast? I don't ever want to do this again. Maybe I should have the healthy one removed. I want to be kind of one and done. And I think that's something we need to realize, that we're never really one and done. There'll be other surgeries, there'll be other treatments, so it's not like you can just have something done and never have to visit this again. But I want to explain something because there's something that nobody tells you. And I was thinking about this conversation a lot lately. I put up different visuals of the support group, and I just don't know that it's really resonating. And what is the difference of a radical mastectomy versus what is viewed as a simple mastectomy where they only remove the breast mound? And this shirt made me think about it. Now, my body is crooked from treatment. My right arm is bigger than my left, makes my clothes pull crooked. I have a bit of a scoop where I have a shoulder roll. And so to put something on and have it hang perfectly straight, where the pattern on this side is exactly like this side, is unusual. And this made me think about what I'm trying to share with you, because I think women think the footprint of what is happening on the cancer side will be exactly like the footprint on the non-cancer side. And I can tell you it's not. And I know this also from my own personal experience, because I had cancer in both my breasts. Both had to go. It wasn't an option for me. And before we get into all the options, I'm going to do another video to follow up on this, and we'll talk about it. But I can know from my own experience what those footprints look like. And I'll wear a different top another day, but you're not going to get this footprint on this side. Even if they try to make a nice, neat closure, let me explain to some of the differences, okay? See how these are exactly the same? When you remove the lymph nodes and breast tissue from a radical mastectomy, they cut all the way up to the collarbone. That tissue is gone all the way up here. You can be a little concave. On this side, if you don't have cancer, they don't take that healthy tissue. They literally only take the breast mound, okay? Night and day difference. This side can typically be kind of concave because they scoop deep. They take tissue all the way to the center line. This is a perfect example. And they cut all the way into the underside under the arm and then down under your ribs. This side, again, just the breast mound. Now, I've had reconstruction. I've waited 10 years, but even though I've had reconstruction, even that you can tell there's a difference in this footprint that wasn't the same. And I want people to know that, because I think that one of the things that leads to decisions is good information. Another thing that leads to satisfaction with decisions is realistic expectations. Realistic expectations. That is a phrase I burn into my kids. They get so sick of it. But it's true. If we have realistic expectations, we tend to be more happy with our decisions. But no one tells you this information. So the short of this is, if you're wanting to get a double, and we can talk about that another time, I need you to know this footprint and this footprint will not be the same. It doesn't mean it's bad. I just want you to know it will not be the same. I'll do another video where I will wear something lower and I can show you my own body. But also there's charts. And what you get with a affected breast for inflammatory is a radical, non-skin sparing mastectomy. And there's charts that show that. And what you get for healthy breasts for preventative mastectomy is called a simple mastectomy. Again, just the breast mound. And those are things I think you need to know. I'm sorry this is so long. I didn't know how to make it any briefer because I've been sharing charts. I'm still seeing a lot of questions, and I thought this might bring in a visual to make the conversations more effective later. Hope always. Okay, as promised, a second video about the difference of a footprint when you've had a radical mastectomy versus a simple mastectomy for preventive measures. I'm going to do another video later about the pros and cons of removing your healthy breast, because there's lots of reasons. And as I said earlier, I'm going from my own experience. I had cancer in both my breasts, both had to go. I didn't have the same cancer. This side had inflammatory breast cancer, triple negative. This side was a triple negative tumor that was older that had been in there. Ironically, obviously saved my life. We wouldn't have known about this in time. So both had to go. Now, at the point of trying to not be too graphic here, I do want to show you a few things, so bear with me. As I said in the other video, when women say, I want both gone, I don't want to ever do this again, they assume the footprint on the affected side is the same as the non-cancer side, and it is not at all true. Again, decisions are made off information that we aren't always given, and also I think it's important we have happiness in our decisions, and our happiness in our decisions is usually good information that leads to realistic expectations. So we think the footprints are the same. They're not. When you have a radical mastectomy, they cut tissue up to your collarbone, straight down the middle, around to the side, and under your ribs. When you have a simple mastectomy for preventive reasons, they literally only remove the breast mound. This is a huge difference in how your body looks. Now, I was double wide flatty, I called myself, for 10 years. Both were gone. I did have reconstruction 6 years ago, so you're going to see some of that. I'm not going to show my breast, but you will see some things that even though I've had reconstruction, you can still see that the footprint isn't the same. For one thing, I don't think it's going to show up in this video, I have a deep indent in my shoulder. They took tissue, not from my shoulder, but it's interesting how it made it shift. Maybe it's a bit of a sink, but they took tissue all the way up here. So even to this day, right here, from my fingers, the knuckles to my fingers, I have a low spot. I don't have a low spot on this side because they didn't take that tissue all the way up here. And then about where the breast mound starts, that softness comes in. Okay, now that's important because we think we're going to have the same footprint, and we're not, even just from this right here. Also, women have the mentality of one and done, thinking I'll never get cancer again. Now, statistically, removing the healthy breast is supposed to reduce your risk of cancer, and it matters or not if you're BRCA positive, things like that. Okay, but this is still breast tissue. Only the breast mound itself is removed in a simple mastectomy. Also, something that confuses women is their scars are not going to be in the same place. Now, I had 2 8-inch scars with about 2 inches in the middle, but one was up here and one was down here. And it was based on how they had to pull the skin to close. Some women would find that unacceptable, but it didn't look bad. They were nice, straight, clean lines, but they weren't in the same place at all, based on what I needed. And so that's it. The other thing that women don't realize is when you remove that healthy breast, you could this side, I say healthy breast, you could end up with an infection in that side that could impact you starting your radiation, and that happens. So sometimes women get an infection in the healthy breast. But I think it's just really important to understand what's happening to your body, where it's going to be, because there's still a scoop here. Because again, they only made a new mound. And you may say, well, I never want reconstruction. I want flat closure. That's okay. But I've had women say, man, I did something I can't undo. I don't like the look. I miss my healthy breast. I didn't realize that there would be tissue left that needs to still be monitored. And I wish somebody had that conversation with me. So these are some of the reasons I wanted to talk about it. And then we can talk about some of the reasons why women want to remove both versus, like if you're especially big busted, some women say, I think it drives me crazy. I think sometimes women are pressured to feel that it's no reason not to remove that healthy breast. My breasts don't define me. And then they go, wow, I missed my nipple. I missed that in sex. There's just things that they didn't expect. I think it's a good idea to take a beat. And even if you want to remove the healthy breast, take care of all the cancer first and then go back, because a simple mastectomy, and I guess that's the takeaway I'm trying to get to, it's just that. It's simple. It's a fast operation. It doesn't require a long recovery time. And then you can make those decisions based on true information and not off of maybe a bit of a panic flight mode. And believe me, I wanted both gone. If I could have done a kitchen table mastectomy, I would have. I had a hard time waiting to go through the chemo to get to the mastectomy because both of the breasts had cancer and it was terrifying. But I realized the wisdom of waiting, and I would have never in a million years thought I would have gotten reconstruction. I was fine being flat, and I was fine with how I looked, but I think I had realistic expectations. But my lymphedema drove the bus so hard. There were some things they could do with in the reconstruction that wasn't approved at the time that's now approved, and it's been very helpful. But again, we don't get to see real bodies. We don't get to see real photographs, and usually these things aren't explained, and I think the details matter. Hope always.